Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the January 2021 energies for life path number 7. So, sevens in January, we have a 6 universal energy. And so, collectively, what's interesting is we just had a 6 universal month back in November. So, what that means is basically we may see some resurfacing this month of topics around family, community, health. So, experiences that maybe we didn't fully bring to completion, or that need some further investigation or exploration, they may resurface this month. There may be new things that surface as well, but we may see some things pop up that just need to be fully addressed and looked at this month around family, community, and health. Some other things around this 6 energy that may surface in January are around honesty, fairness, and genuine concern for others. So I feel like in January, collectively, we're going to see or get reacquainted with what it means to be empathetic and to really rediscover empathy at a new level. So we may also find that we need to have some honest conversations with ourselves or with others this month. And when it comes to our interactions with others, there's this energy around fairness that needs to be explored. This month will also ask us to set healthy boundaries. So the call here is really, or the emphasis is really on not taking on any unnecessary obligations. So anything that feels overly burdensome, like a commitment that you say yes to that you really don't want to say yes to because it just feels like you're taking on more than you can handle, or it just doesn't feel like it's beneficial to you in any way, and therefore it won't be beneficial to the other person, so why take it on? Any of those things that surface, you really need to use your discernment in how you choose to use your energy this month and your time. So don't be afraid to set those healthy boundaries, and also respect the healthy boundaries that other people are setting as well. So if you ask somebody to commit to something and they're unable to do so, then there's just this level of, finding it within your heart to be understanding of that, because again, they're setting their own healthy boundaries. You may see an emphasis this month on, or we collectively may see an emphasis this month on children, family, or a change in the home or living situation. So for children, it may be that you find out you're pregnant, or maybe you give birth this month, maybe you adopt or something like that. It could be that there's a change in one or many of your children's circumstances. So maybe you have a child who's leaving for college, or moving out, getting their own apartment, whatever the case may be, but you may seek sort of that you need to tend to your children a little bit more this month, or that they need your attention a little bit more this month. Family can also be highlighted. So with that, that can coincide with a change in the living situation. You may have an elderly parent or grandparent who needs additional attention and needs to move in with you or something like that, therefore changing the living situation. You may find that you are offered a new job and need to change your living situation, in that you actually move locations. You may buy or sell a home, something like that. So we could see those areas highlighted as well this month. There's also a big call in January for the need for peace and harmony. And so this is where we may see one of the more extremes, or one of the more polarities take place between the collective and individually. So I feel like collectively we're going to see quite a bit of discord, chaos, divisiveness, and the call is really to dive in deep and find ways to find your own peace and harmony from within. How can you create your own sanctuary and your own peace and harmony when the external is feeling quite chaotic? I feel like there's going to be a call for that. It's kind of like, don't necessarily put your focus on, bringing the collective peace and harmony. It's kind of like we're meant to do that for ourselves. And then collectively, we'll see that eventually take place. But I do feel like the external may be a little excessively chaotic in January. And so it's kind of like if you need to unplug this month, then do so. If your peace and harmony comes from not consuming yourself with the chaos of the external world, then unplug. Find ways to unplug when you can and honor that time. There may also be a call for beautification this month. So you may find yourself wanting to, start a new beauty regimen or a health regimen or something like that. Maybe you are getting a makeover or get your hair done or something like that. But there's like this energy of beautifying self. And then also around home, maybe you start a remodeling project or buy some new furniture or something like that, something to beautify your space. And then also you may find that you want to spend more time in nature this month because surrounding yourself with natural beauty is also emphasized. So really the question is, how can you bring more beauty into your life? And how can you bring more peace and harmony into your life? So those are going to be kind of the things highlighted this month with this 6 energy. Okay, so I pulled an animal spirit card to see what the overall energy for 7s would be potentially this month, and you all got chameleon spirit. Chameleon's message is an interesting one. So chameleon says, stay in the background and adapt to the situation rather than being conspicuous and attempting to direct the course of events. So what's really interesting is, besides the need to release any level of the need for control, I feel like what chameleon is really saying is that your power this month, 7s, really lies in being the observer. So be in the background, take it all in, and then you can choose what approach you want to take, right? So it's kind of like take it all in before you decide. If you're caught up in the chaos or you're caught up in what's going down and you're too involved and you're trying to control the situation, you're missing key elements. And so I feel like the overall message is this month, when you have the opportunity or when you can create the opportunity to sort of stand back and just be the observer, just sort of take it all in, see what's happening. You don't necessarily have to be a part of it unless you choose to make yourself a part of it, but kind of stand back, take it all in, and then you're making the decision how you want to approach whatever this is from a much more elevated standpoint, right? You have so much more information to make your decision as opposed to being in the thick of it. So however that comes in for you and however that resonates, but the call is really to stand back, blend in, and be the observer, okay? So I broke January down into 4 weeks. And the first week, we have this energy 7s of this change in direction for you, but it feels very, very monumental and powerful. It's like you can actually see the shift from the energies of 2020 into this 5 energetic year, which is 2021. So it's kind of like you have this need or desire to explore, to expand, to travel, to start with a clean slate and make your decisions from that point, right? So kind of like a beginner's mind where you may be the expert in several things. You're really being called to go back to that 0 point, to that place where it all begins. Creation, new ideas. This is a starting point, and you're kind of like at this precipice of jumping off and taking a leap of faith into something. It's kind of like information or circumstances will arise or may arise that will guide you to this 0 point. So it's kind of like you will have a new opportunity for doing something that was going to call for you to take a little bit of a risk, but it's in taking a leap of faith that you are going to have your most exponential growth. So this can be in the area of relationships, of career purpose, just simply mental health, like just taking the time to go on a trip on your own, to explore, to go on a new adventure, go someplace you've never been before. Of course, within the parameters of whatever restrictions are in place because of COVID, but there's really this feeling of wanting to break free. This energy really encompasses the five energy, where it's like really like wanting a new adventure, maybe feeling a little bit stagnant and needing a new adventure, needing something new to explore, something new to learn. So seven energy is really like that studious energy and expansive energy of expanding your wisdom, expanding your knowledge, personal and spiritual growth, that sort of thing. So I feel like this first week of January is going to be an opportunity for you all to really start something new in that way. So it could be going back to school, it could be starting a new job, or looking at something differently than the way you've always been looking at it. And in doing so, opens up and sort of cleans the slate for you to create and do the things in a new way. But I do feel like there's going to be some communication coming in, and it feels, again, new and clear and crisp. So it's kind of like it's going to be different from the way that you've always done things, or it's going to be different from the way that you've always looked at things. So this could be a change in a belief system that you might have, that when you sort of pivot, then a whole new world opens up for you, which feels really exciting, and you're able to explore it much more in depthly. So again, the beginning of the month just feels like this opportunity to start fresh, start new, clean the slate, and you get to decide where you move from here. Pay attention to the information that comes in for you around this time, because I feel like it's going to be pivotal in how, in helping you to sort of start this new adventure. Okay. And then we move into the second week, and it's interesting. There feels like this major change or transformation when it comes to how you do your work in the world. Okay. And how you collaborate with others, how you work with others. It may be that in the past you've worked really independently, but now you're shifting into working with a partner or working with others in some capacity. It may be that you get some kind of offer that completely does, causes you to do a 180. And it may change, what we talked about earlier with your living situation, that may change drastically, but it's all aiding you in the work that you do in the world, so that you can do that much more in purpose. So I do feel like there's going to be kind of like this major death and rebirth around your career. And it's really what I'm getting. So this is very specific, but so it won't apply to everybody, but it just feels like a major overhaul of the work that you do and how you show up, and how, if you own your own business, then it may be that you totally revamp the way that you market yourself, or the offerings that you have. But it does also feel like there's an opportunity for you to be an expert in whatever this is. And so here's the thing. It's kind of like you've been standing in the background in this situation, and you've been the observer in this situation when it comes to your career. But this is an opportunity where you actually need to defy chameleon and you need to stand out. So it's kind of like an opportunity for you to change the way that you have been approaching your career or your purpose, how you show up in purpose each day. And it's an opportunity for you to truly become the expert in whatever this is. And there's going to be others who will come to you for your expertise in this. And so again, it behooves you to really shift your focus and focus on what you want to become the expert in, so that you can offer that expertise to others, because there will be those that are coming to you for that expertise. And it's just a matter of you having the confidence to know that you can offer it and meet their needs, right? But it's interesting. I just really feel like a major transformation in how you work with others, how you do your work, where you work. So it just feels really focused on employment or the physical type thing. This could also be around living situation, but I really just get the sense that it's tied to work somehow. If you're retired, then it could be like you have an opportunity to do volunteer work or some kind of work that betters the community in some way. So yeah, just kind of pay attention to that. But I do feel like it's going to be a major transformation in that area, all kind of leading you from, if you were kind of feeling stuck before, it's like with your effort, right? There's this opportunity for a major transformation in this area. Then we move into the third week of January, and I'm really getting this feeling around relationships and sort of healing relationships. So it's almost like there's where there was sort of mistrust or injustice in some kind of relationship that kind of broke that bond a little bit. There's an opportunity for some healing at this time with those relationships or that relationship. And again, I come back to that energy of the 6, where there's just this opportunity for some really honest conversations at this time. And to be really honest with yourself and honest with the other person when it comes to what you need and what you're looking for in a relationship or in this particular relationship. So those conversations are never easy to have. They just aren't. It's really difficult to be vulnerable. And it's really difficult to, worry that you're going to upset the other person or that, you're somehow not being able to show up in the relationship the way that they want you to show up, right? But again, it comes back to that honesty. It's like if you're both showing up to the relationship in a way that's not serving either of you, then it's toxic for both parties. So you need to have that conversation and be really honest about what you both need, right? Energetically and physically and all of those things. And so I feel like there's going to be an opportunity for those very honest, vulnerable conversations around those relationships that maybe need a closer look. Okay, so this can be family, this can be romantic, this can be business partners, wherever there's relationships within your life, it can be friendships. If you've been showing up to a friendship repeatedly where it's always you investing and you don't feel like you're getting any return of that investment, then this could be one of those times where it's like you need to have an honest conversation with this person and let them know what you need. We often assume that other people are mind readers, and nobody's a mind reader. Nobody can tell what you're thinking, right? What you need. So unless you communicate it. So it really comes back to that communication and in fairness, right? It only works when the other person is doing the same. And so again, I feel like there's this opportunity this week for some really truthful, honest conversations to take place and to be empathetic in understanding that, maybe that other person can't show up in the way that you need because they don't have the tools yet to be able to do so, right? And so to be able to respect, where they're at on their journey as well. One thing that I'll say is, and I just feel like it's relevant, so I'm going to bring it in. But I do offer a reading. It's called Love Languages with Numerology, and it really takes a look at the energies of, I look at several numbers in your chart and the energies of those numbers and what you sort of need energetically to feel heard, to feel loved and supported and in your power. And I do that for both partners. So it really helps to allow the other person to understand what you need energetically, even if you don't understand and can't communicate it, right? So if you are in a situation where it's like you feel like you're hitting a brick wall with your partner and they just don't understand how to communicate with you or what you need, this may be a good reading for you. It's very affordable. It's like $22, but I'm just mentioning it because I do feel like there's some miscommunication in some relationships here. And I do feel like this is going to be an opportunity for you to have those honest conversations. And sometimes that helps when we have a tool to be able to do that. So I only mention it for that. But third week of January, I do feel like you're going to have some opportunities to heal or release or mend some relationships that need releasing or healing or mending. Okay? But that's going to come through you standing up in your power and really choosing to have those honest conversations, right? And be vulnerable, because that can be difficult, and that can definitely be difficult for 7s. Then we move into the fourth week of January, and this is really beautiful energy for you all. It's kind of like the table is turning. It's like if you have felt like you've been kind of walking through mud, or you haven't been progressing the way that you've kind of wanted to progress, this is really giving you an opportunity to do that. It's kind of like the Wheel of Fortune, where it's like the tables are turning in your favor type thing. And so I do feel like you're going to be at sort of a pivotal point where you are really choosing to leave the past behind, leave all the junk and the garbage and, all of that stuff, the toxicity behind, and move forward in a way that feels much more expansive, much lighter, a new beginning of sorts. And so I do feel like in doing that, whether it's relationships, career, both, you're opening yourself up for a lot of opportunities that have been waiting to come in for you. So I do feel like this fourth week, you may see, you might get an uptick in clients. You might see money coming in for you, opportunities that really are helping to lay the groundwork for your movement forward. And so again, it's kind of like you're sitting at the edge of the forest and you can see the light of the meadow, and you're ready to go out into the world, into that openness and that expansiveness. But before you do, you're taking a moment to just take stock of what you're bringing with you and making sure that what you're carrying with you isn't, that burdensome, sort of overbearing, those things that kind of are holding you back, right? You're not taking with you a ton of bricks. You're leaving the bricks in the forest and you're moving forward into the meadow to run free, if that makes sense. So I do feel like there's some really beautiful, powerful energy at the end of the month that's like saying, hey, you've done the work, you're doing the work. Here's some tangibles, and here's, a shift in this energy. So really powerful. And again, it comes back to being really discerning about where you choose to put your energy. And that comes back to chameleon spirit saying, be the observer, take it all in before you choose, before you decide, right? Get all the information first, get all the, take stock of what's really happening before you decide where you want to invest your energy, what you want to take on, and who you want to take that journey on with, right? So powerful energies in January for you sevens, nothing that you can't handle. I feel like it'll be a pivotal month for you. And I think that it's really going to call to your adventurous spirit and just ask you to really dance outside of your comfort zone in a big way. So I hope it's a beautiful month for you. Until we meet again, take care. Bye for now.